Hey, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon, and thanks for bearing with us for all of our technical difficulties today. We're going to hope that this video, this live stream is the one to work, as I mentioned earlier, better than ever. Okay, let's get started today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and you can see I am not on the green screen today. I am actually working from home, and not only home like my house in Oklahoma City, but I'm actually at my family's house today. So that is such a blessing to be able to spend time with them, and I hope that everyone out there gets to spend time with your own family as well. Okay, let's jump into the weather here. We are watching for some of these showers and storms across the Central Plains and then even off to the Midwest right now. These are not going to be your severe storms. You can actually start to see, look at this this wind pattern. There's a low pressure system that's starting to form or strengthen a little bit more as we head farther to the east. And that's going to cause some commotion later on today and into the overnight hours tonight, into tomorrow morning, into your Thanksgiving in the form of severe weather. So let's get to your highlights and your weather headlines today. Taking a look at those weather headlines, you can see that we've got 2 days of hail potential ahead of us, not only today, but also tomorrow. We are also looking for a potential white Thanksgiving. I know everyone always looks for a white Christmas, but could we see a white Thanksgiving? The third headline here, temperatures will tumble. Okay, so after this cold front passes through, and I'm sure a lot of people have already felt this cold air move in, temperatures are tumbling. Actually, I'm in Oklahoma right now, and that front is expected to move through right about now. I was working on this forecast, on putting it together, and I was seeing the clouds start to move in. It looks a little gray out there. I'm starting to see the wind pick up from the trees, and it really shows that this front is moving through. The temperatures this morning here in Tulsa were in the 50s, but we are supposed to drop into the afternoon hours, colder into the afternoon, which is what we like to call a backwards forecast, where it's warmer in the morning and colder in the afternoon. Okay, let's take a look at what we saw yesterday. No big storm reports to report of yesterday. Really just those light showers across the Central Plains and then even into the southern Midwest. Rainfall totals not terribly impressive here, but some of this came in the form of snow. There's some of that snow in the southern portion of Nebraska and northern portion of Kansas. Denver got snow yesterday as well. We got snow across the Northeast as well. So, I mean, a good chunk of the U.S. got at least a little bit of snow. You know, maybe not a ton of that was sticking, but at least a little bit of snow out there. Let's see, what else do we have on the docket today? Temperatures right now, as I mentioned, in Tulsa and Oklahoma are going to drop in the afternoon. That is very, very similar to the southern portion of the country. We're talking places like Arkansas and Missouri. You're going to see that backwards forecast today. And that's because we're seeing that colder air move in. You can see that big change from what we saw yesterday to what we are seeing today. You want to see it again? Ready? Yesterday, that cold air was confined up to the north, and now we are seeing that cold air start to dip down into some more of our central states, southern states there as well. And you know, that's going to be the big headline over the next few days, is this cold front that's moving through. This cold front is going to really strengthen in the next few hours, and then we're going to see that cause some strong to severe storms over the next 24 hours. So this could impact some of your Thanksgiving plans if you're in some of our southeastern states. So let's move through some of these states here. We're going to take a look at what's happening across the country right now. Oklahoma, I mentioned those clouds are moving through, right? Some showers up in Kansas, some showers up in Missouri as well. Pretty dry right now across the Northeast. However, that's going to change as we head into the next 24 hours. I think that we're going to see a little bit more snow move in into the middle and later portion of this work week. Okay, moving on to snow accumulations over the next 3 to 4 days here. Thursday, Friday, it looks like there's your snow up to the north and east. I mentioned that just a minute ago. We're going to continue to see that snow spread into the Midwest. We're going to see some lake effect snow here as well. Some very cold temperatures up in places like North Dakota. And then we're going to see some pretty cold temperatures start to move in down to the south as well. However, it's not cold enough to get snow in some of our southern states. What we're watching for here is still rain and potentially severe rain, severe storms as well with this rain that's coming in. So that's what we're going to focus on for the rest of the forecast. Are those severe storms, the potential for hail, probably the reason that a lot of people jumped on today. So let's take a look at that future radar. Here is that red box. You guys know that whenever this red box pops up, you have to stay weather aware because your timing here for marginally severe storms will be later this evening into early Thursday. The hail risk here is isolated. Wind gusts right around 65 miles an hour. That tornado risk is low. And I'm going to go through all of this with you. There's that area that we're watching for. One area from Huntsville all the way down to central Mississippi, and then also an area in Florida, the Florida Panhandle. And again, that'll be late tonight and into tomorrow morning. Alrighty, moving on to that wind forecast. We'll start with wind and then we'll move to hail in just a minute. But yeah, as I mentioned, there's two areas to be keeping an eye on here, right? From Meridian all the way up to Birmingham and then also into Tallahassee. I don't think that our wind is going to be too intense. I think that what we're watching for will be wind gusts every now and then, 65 miles an hour, okay? Just enough to blow something over in your front yard. However, not enough to do any intense or irreplaceable damage, okay? Moving on to that hail forecast now. I have everything at that low category highlighted there in green, and then of course smaller hail, okay? I don't think that we're going to see anything larger than a quarter sized hail with this, okay? Let's see, we could get up to ping pong ball sized hail. I was right in between. Should I go quarter? Should I go ping pong ball sized hail? Maybe an inch, 1.25 inches. Maybe that's what we'll see from the largest hailstone. But again, it's going to be very isolated. We're not going to see this super widespread across the southeast. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three storms could produce some of this larger hail. The rest of the southeast, these other states, are going to stay with that smaller hail. Yes, the tornado risk is on the board as well. High wind risk also on the board. And then of course, and here I'll move my camera right out of the way there. That flooding risk also on the board, but it is going to be low. I think the high wind risk will be the biggest issue or the most widespread issue that you're going to come across. Even though the tornado risk is low, we still have to talk about it. Okay, it's highlighted there in green, today's tornado forecast. Highlighted there in green, and that low risk anywhere from the middle of the Mississippi all the way up through central to northern Alabama and then into the Florida Panhandle and even portions of southern Georgia, just barely there. Okay, let's take a look at that future radar just one last time so that you can get a look of your timing here. This, once again, coming in through the late night hours tonight and into early tomorrow morning. There you go. Okay, let's move on to, I think we're talking about tomorrow. So tonight into tomorrow is what we're talking about here. You can see that forecasted instability. I'll show that to you one more time. Moving from the Gulf all the way up to the East Coast. And let's see if we can go through here. There you go. You can see that we're starting in Louisiana with that unstable air being pushed to the east because of a cold front that's moving through. What about the hail risk? A lot of people want to know about that hail risk, right? Let's see. There we go. There's your significant hail model that is also being pushed to the east as we head into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, because of that cold front that's moving through. You know, Atlanta is one of the most interesting forecasts that I've seen this week because temperatures in Atlanta today are very comfortable, maybe even a bit humid out there for some. We've got dew points moving into this area that are into the upper 50s and low 60s, something that we don't see very often this time of the year that's really going to enhance those storms. But we have dry air on top of that, and dry air is not good for hail to form. So even though we're seeing some of these yellows and oranges pop up on our hail map, I wouldn't expect widespread hail here because we're really going to struggle with some of that dry air in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Just some inside baseball to how a meteorologist makes their forecast. Moving on here to your future radar. For tomorrow, the timing looks like it'll be in the mid-morning hours, maybe even into the early afternoon. But by the time we get into the evening, that front has pushed a lot of those storms out to the East Coast, and we are remaining dry as we head into the late evening hours. So for forecasts like Atlanta, if you have something like a turkey trot going on, maybe you're running early in the morning before you start cooking dinner, I would make sure that you are watching the forecast before you head out because you may need your rain gear. The good thing is if that storm comes in a little bit earlier, that means that those temperatures will still be warm. If it comes in even earlier than sunrise, temperatures may be pretty cold for the turkey trot. So if you are in the southeast, make sure that you are paying very, very close attention to the weather, because you will probably have to have, you know, we see this in Oklahoma all the time where you have to have like different changes of outfits for different times of the day. So like in the morning, maybe you're fine in a sweater, and then the cold front hits, and in the afternoon you have to bring out that big winter coat. It's just that time of the year. Talk about hail. That hail risk is pretty isolated and confined to the farther southeastern communities here. We're talking about the Florida Panhandle all the way up into Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. I'm holding on to that yellow, to that moderate risk, but I would say it's on the lower end. I think we're right in between that low to moderate risk for hail going into Savannah. Again, it'll be very isolated. That tornado forecast is a little bit more widespread here. So we're talking anywhere from Raleigh, North Carolina, all the way down to Columbia, South Carolina, into Savannah, Georgia, and Tallahassee, Florida, also included in that. That is not for tornadoes that are going to be widespread, possibly a bit isolated, and they're going to be quick. I don't think that we're going to have a ton of reaction time with this, so make sure that you are keeping your phone nearby. Make sure that you have multiple ways to get those severe weather alerts, because some of this could come while you're enjoying time with your family. This is a Thanksgiving forecast. We're talking about Thanksgiving right now. Strong winds will also be moving through tomorrow. We're talking once again right around 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour. Nothing too terribly strong with this, but just enough to get that severe thunderstorm warning, just enough that you don't want to be out in this. Taking a look at those future temperatures. Ooh, look at that cool down. Did you see those temperatures? Those areas in blue start to move to the south. There is your cold front continuing to see that movement to the south and east as we head into the rest of Thursday. And Thursday morning, temperatures here in Oklahoma City are below freezing. Memphis, right at freezing. Kansas City, Denver, all below freezing there. And we even see some single digits start to sneak into our northern states. I mentioned that North Dakota, we're going to see some really cold temperatures in that area, unseasonably cold for this time of the year, even 8 degrees out in Minneapolis on early Saturday morning. So we're going to continue to see this cold air stick around as we head into December as well. So we're talking about the 2nd of December, which I think, I may be wrong on this, however, I think the 2nd of December is Monday. Actually, here, I'm on my computer today. I'm not on the green screen, so I can check that real quick. It's Monday. So by Monday, we are still feeling these colder temperatures through the central and eastern portion of the U.S. However, we're starting to see some of this warm air sneak back in from the west. Okay, so cold out to the east, warmer out to the west. All right, come on, here we go. There we go. Okay, so what about that wet weather? Because we have seen a lot of wet weather here lately in the form of snow, in the form of rain, in the form of severe weather today as well. Is that going to continue? No, we're most likely going to see a drier pattern as we head into the early portion of December. That doesn't mean we can't get another round of snow or rain in some of these northern or southern places. However, for the most part, we're going to see a slowdown or at least a brief break from all of this wet and winter weather that we've seen. All right, thanks for joining us today on this noon forecast. We apologize for the time delay because of some technical difficulties. We're working through those as we get more technology. Sometimes we have more technology difficulties, technology issues, that's just how it goes. But we appreciate you hopping on. We appreciate you watching today. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We have a lot of fun Thanksgiving things coming out on those sites. And if you're interested in a wind, hail, or tornado map, give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. You can also head to our website, hailtrace.com. All right, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. We will not have a Thanksgiving forecast tomorrow unless something really crazy happens with the weather, okay? We do have those severe storms out there, so we may have to jump on and do a quick forecast. We'll see what happens with those storms, but if they stay non-severe, if they stay pretty benign, we won't have a forecast for tomorrow. Enjoy time with your family. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll see you back here, same time, same place on Monday.